Welcome to my final major project, sexual assault short film pitch. Firstly, I just want to apologise that I'm not here with my face. I'm a bit ill today, so yeah, apologies. So my name is Jack Lovell, and I want to create a short film because I want to spread awareness about sexual assault and how easily it can happen and what implication it can have on people. So this idea was quite a weird one and like something I didn't really expect to think of like straight away. But when we were idea generating, I think in the short films, I started thinking about certain things that happened in my life. And I remember I had an ex-girlfriend a few years ago and she was actually sexually assaulted. I saw, what it did to her, she really did fall apart mentally. And also the fact that some people didn't believe her, which is really difficult for her. Straight away that kind of thought I want to tell a story which can kind of like show how people do really feel. I believe the genre of my film is awareness. I couldn't really think of a proper genre, so I believe awareness because I want to just spread awareness. And I was inspired by a few things, but a film called Take Me, and there was a scene featured a girl being assaulted, and it was quite a generic rape where like a girl is literally in the street taken away and taken back to her house after a day or something, and then he's obviously gone too far and done the unthinkable. Obviously mine's going to be a lot different because I want to show another side to it of where it can literally happen anywhere. So the goal of this short film is to spread awareness and raise concern of how easy sort of things can happen. I believe my target audience will be engaged throughout as the film is short but jam-packed with emotion, trauma and opening up. So like basically people are not going to look away. They're going to want to see what happens. There's going to be the actual event, how she feels at the end and how like it kind of, meets its end. And I believe the film does fit with the HIP's brief because people don't always pick up on signs on everything to do with mental health and to do with not just that, but, certain events that people have gone through. Not everyone can really pick up on it. And so it's kind of hidden in plain sight. So I believe that works. So my target audience is aspiring young media creators because they're the best people to watch my content as they all want to work in the same field. And I believe the youngest will probably be around 14 and the oldest I'm going to put 23. I've decided to do some surveys so I can get a rough idea of what my target audience thinks. So my first set of survey results show that 60% of my target audience are men and 40% are women. Then it shows that 35% are 14 to 16 years of age, 60% are 17 to 19 years of age, 5% are 20 to 22 years of age, and 0% are 23 or above. I then wanted to find out what sort of media they followed, so I show how many followed Twitter, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok. My next set of results was to ask if they wanted to do a music video, documentary or short film, and short film won with 90%. Then documentary had 8% and music video had 2%. And then finally I wanted to find out what exactly I would want to do, and if I was a sexual assault awareness film, a kidnapping awareness film or a marathon documentary. And once again sexual assault won with a 75%. And then 20% for kidnapping and 5% for the marathon documentary. There were a few more questions, but for this pitch, I believe these are the important ones that show why I should go ahead with this idea. So next up was doing some market research. I decided to look up some statistics and facts to kind of back up my idea of why awareness really does need to be spread. So obviously, as you can see here, 1 in 5 females experience sexual assault, according to the BBC. 90% of adult rape victims are female, according to the SOS Rape Crisis, and 70% of cases are dropped due to a lack of evidence, according to Rape, Abuse and Incest Network. So this just shows that the awareness does need spreading. So much of this is happening, and I think it's awful that so many cases, especially for me, don't get taken to the end and they don't face justice because there's not enough evidence. It's so difficult to prove these situations. So hopefully in my short film as well, I can show certain little bits of evidence that you must keep and give in to the police so that you can prove that it happened to you and you can get justice. So I believe that my unique selling point is the fact that the girl's best friend does it to her. It isn't a usual rape. It's completely the most unlikely people, but it conveys that it can happen to anybody and anyone is capable. It's basically the basic story of it is that two people are going to get a little bit drunk together. They're going to go back to hers. They are going to kiss a little bit and end up undressing. But then she just completely kind of falls to the bed, passes out a little bit. So she is completely out of her mind to give consent. As for him, he's obviously not as drunk as her, and he still goes ahead and does the unthinkable. And it just shows that literally it can happen. Anybody can have it. It can happen to anybody, and anyone can do it, which is just so shocking. But it gives a kind of a different story to a stranger doing it. So onto the legal and ethical things I need to consider. Obviously, there are a few more than these, but these are the most important ones in my opinion. No nudity, as it could be a 14-year-old watching and that is underage. Low amount swearing, there could be the odd bit of swearing, but I doubt. I'll try and cut out as much as possible. Credit to any copyright content, including music and any maybe video I use. Be respectful as the subject is very sensitive. I mean, this is a really sensitive subject. I've never done anything like it before, so I need to make sure everything I do is serious and there's no taking the mick going on. I need active consent in case there's any scenes that involved any kissing or anything kind of out of the ordinary. I'm going to get permission to use certain locations, and I'll be using the correct statistics throughout the short film. So finally, I don't have the pre-production documents such as storyboards, scripts, location recce's or any of those sort of things yet, shot lists and that, because the idea is still in progress and it took me a while to kind of think of this idea. But I would want to film around mid-April, but I'm hoping that you guys will give me the green light and then the pre-production will begin. Thank you for listening.